Hey, it's your girl Arrettres Hollins, the founder of Connecting Love and Marriage. I am super excited that you have joined me today to learn my three-step framework that's going to help you heal from trauma or betrayal that you've experienced in your marriage, skyrocket your confidence, and help you experience constant peace in the midst of what you're currently going through. This class or this quick video is most likely for women who are currently married and suffering in their marriage. You love your husband, but you're kind of broken. You've experienced way too much, either from lies or adultery. He's had an affair or just him not leading you well. Okay, so this video is going to help you overcome those feelings because you really need to heal. Whether you stay, whether you go, don't make a decision based on your current status of pain and rejection and fear. Don't make any decisions out of those emotions. You need to get the healing that you need so that you can make a clear decision about who you are, what you're now going to accept in your relationship, and how to take the next couple of steps. So that's where my three-step framework really comes into play. I teach this to all the women who are in my mentorship, and it's helped them get the breakthrough they need to make clear decisions and bold decisions, not angry decisions, but be bold and confident in who they are in God and who God's created them to be and their worth. A lot of women are suffering because they're not walking in the fullness of who they are and they're accepting treatment that's beneath their worth. Okay? So this three-step framework is definitely going to help you. Okay? So the first thing, and if you see me looking off to the side, I got my notes. Whenever I'm teaching, I always have notes because I want to make sure I give you all the information that you need. So the first step is change your focus. And changing your focus is part of the PYP method. This is a precise, powerful method that I teach to the ladies in my program. And it helps you get the clarity that you really need and overcome the mental games or the thoughts that keep rehearsing themselves in your head. Because sometimes when you've been betrayed or violated, you keep rehearsing that pain in your head. So the PYP method helps you to shift your focus. Okay. And what do I mean by shifting focus? One, stop paying attention to what your husband's done. Stop paying attention to him not being the man and leading the way that he should. Now, I'm not saying lower your expectations, but what you need is a season where you're just focused on yourself and you're focused on your healing and you're focused on getting the breakthrough you need so that when you turn and you now address him later on and what's acceptable, you're now doing it from clarity. You're doing it from a position of, I know who I am and God has established me and I'm grounded, okay? Part of the PYP method is you changing your focus and focusing on your creator. It builds your understanding of who you are. You're focused on learning more about you and God and who God's called you to be. It strengthens your foundation. Once you strengthen your foundation, there's nothing the enemy can throw at you that's going to throw you off guard. So we focus on getting you a stable foundation rooted in God's word, rooted in his truth. And trust me, I had been in church my entire life, but I didn't have a good understanding of who I was because of God. Okay, I knew about God. I knew of his greatness. I knew of how wonderful he was. And I knew he could do anything and everything for me. But unfortunately, my view of myself allowed me to accept treatment from men that was totally unacceptable. Especially, it didn't live up to the expectations of a daughter of a king. Okay, so we get you that strong foundation. We build you up and strengthen you to know I'm a daughter of the Most High God. Work on your prayer life. We work on getting a routine together for you to where you're no longer focused on him, because the more you focus on your husband, the more frustrated you're going to get, the more depressed you're going to get, the more angry you're going to get, the more you're going to argue, the more you're going to experience frustration. And I don't want you to experience that anymore. In order for you to overcome that, We got to change your focus to where you're now focused on God and who you are because of God. Okay? Now, step two. So that's step one. Step two is stop living like a victim. Now, I'm not in any way disregarding the pain that you've experienced. Trust me, I've experienced it in one way or another. I've been down that road with you where you're crying and you're sobbing, and it's like, why can't he just love me the way that I deserve to be loved? We've all unfortunately experienced heartache from a man who was not living and leading well. We've experienced this heartache because we gave our heart to a man who was broken, who didn't know how to love you. So instead of you living like the victim, waiting for someone to rescue you, waiting for someone to step in and make your husband do what's right, I empower you to stand up. You don't have to wait for someone to come in and fix the situation for you. God has given you the power to declare and decree what is acceptable in your house, in your life, and in your relationship. Now, of course, it doesn't mean you're going to walk in and say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to accept, and you need to leave and da-da-da-da-da-da. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is you walking in the power that God has given you, okay? No longer waiting for him to finally realize that you're valuable. No, you stand up on your own. You walk in your power. You walk in your truth. You find your voice and learn how to speak in a way to, like, I'm not going to tolerate this treatment. This is unacceptable. Okay? Yes, we want to be women who honor God through our marriages and honor God, and yes, things are going to happen in our marriages, but that doesn't mean you have to allow mistreatment to continue. That doesn't mean that you have to allow you to continue to be harmed emotionally or mentally. So step two is really about you no longer being a victim. You standing up and walking in the power, and take the power back that you've given. If they're not handling the power properly of your heart and loving you properly, it's time for you to take that power back. And that leads into step I jumped ahead of myself because I don't want to really talk about step 3 yet, because but it will lead into step 3, because where you learn how to set safe boundaries. That's really step 3. So 1 is changing your focus. Stop focusing on him and how he messing up. We need to get you to a place of clarity and healing and get the breakthrough that you need. And then step 2 is stop living like a victim. Okay, we take you through the process of healing, of addressing every single issue that has hurt you. You can't sit there and keep saying, well, I'm just hurt and I'm going to build these walls around me. No, it's time for you to tear those walls down, because those walls are also holding you captive. They're not allowing you're not allowing you to love the way you deserve to love. You're not experiencing love the way you deserve to experience love. Okay? So when you're living from a victim standpoint, you're not walking in your truth. Now, yes, part of step 2 is something I call the GUH, just guard your heart. And there's different strategies that I teach you that will help you set your mind on who you are, and that working out that entire healing process. But you have to be able, in order for you to go through the healing, you have to say, you know what? I'm no longer going to be broken. I'm no longer going to be bound. It's time for me to stand up and get the healing that I need. And the healing is available for you. This is the thing you've got to understand. Healing is available. God already did it. Jesus already came and he did it for you. But all you have to do is accept it. All you've got to do is release those burdens to him. And not release it on today and tomorrow go back and pick it up. No, you release it to him and you walk through that healing and go through those emotions. Sometimes as women, we were taught to not cry, be strong. We can do it all. No, time out for that. That's why women are having strokes and heart attacks. because they're so busy trying to be strong for everybody else. Honey, if you were hurt and broken from what was done to you, allow yourself to grieve and go through that process of healing. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to go ahead and feel what you have felt, and then let God wash those emotions and teach you how to deal with those emotions. Because all it's going to do, if you don't face it, it's going to sit in your heart. It's going to sit in your emotions. You're going to be guarded. You're going to feel jaded. It's going to change your perspective and how you see others. And don't just think because it happened because your husband did this that it's not affecting your other relationships. Oh, no, it will. That heartache, if you don't deal with it, it'll affect how you interact on every level with your female friends, in ministry, at your job. You'll have this jaded and guarded view, and that's not God's purpose for you. That's not what God wants. That's the enemy. The enemy wants you to experience this heartache, and then you become all guarded and, well, I'm never going to allow anyone to hurt me like that again. No, you don't have to allow anyone to hurt you like that again, but you can also walk in love and freedom and experience joy without the weight of that hurt and the scars and the wounds that you've experienced. Okay? So, step 1, step 2, now step 3. Okay? Create safe boundaries. Now this, honey, look, you get to determine how you are treated. You get to declare how you are respected and loved and cherished. If he does not know how to do it, if he's willing to learn, you teach the man, okay? Because every man's different. You know, he might not know exactly, and every woman is different. So he might have been perfect for the last, woman that he was with, or his girlfriend or whomever, but you're a completely different woman. So what you like and what she like is different, okay? So, but my point is, create safe boundaries. There's a certain expectation that you are allowed to say is acceptable in your marriage. If you do not want your husband hanging out with other women because of something, because of he has cheated before, you have every right to say that. But my point is, you need to create safe boundaries around your marriage so that you are now safe, that you're not exposed to the elements of the enemy, that you're not vulnerable, that you're not exposed and just out all willy-nilly just letting anything happen. There needs to be some understandings between the two of you of acceptable and unacceptable behavior. And that's if you choose to stay in your marriage. Of course, I'm pro-marriage. I believe that God can do anything. I believe that God will use your marriage to mature you and grow you and show you areas in you that need healing and deliverance, and also show you areas in you where you need to be loved. So I'm pro-marriage. I'm not out here talking about leave your man, leave your man. He did X, Y, and Z. You need to leave him. That's not me. Now, granted, there are some situations where I might say, look, now, y'all might need a time of separation, okay? Especially if he putting his hands on you. Look, if he putting his hands on you, there's a 911, well, nowadays we can't really call 911. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm not going there right now. But there's a time he needs to be away from you. Because I'm never condone. I don't believe at any point that God wants you to be abused and physically harmed by the man who's supposed to be loving you. Because the scripture specifically says that the man is supposed to love you the way Christ loved the church. At no point did I remember Jesus ever beating on somebody because they didn't do what's right. No, Jesus loved them through the transition. Jesus loved them he loves us in our sin. He loves us in our wrongdoing, and he loves us through the process. So, step 3 is creating safe boundaries. Having a conversation of what is acceptable. Speak your truth. Now is not the time for you to shut up and go sit in the corner and just say, well, whatever comes, Lord, just help me to deal with it. No. You open up your mouth. You speak your truth. I've seen too many women suffer and emotionally and spiritually die because they sat quiet and just said, well, Lord, I just hope you fix it. I hope you fix it. Yes, the Lord can fix it. Yes, the Lord, he gonna fix it. But he also gave you the power to speak and declare. He also gave you the power to speak up for yourself. So I'm not for rebellion and being out of order. But what I am for is what's true. Okay? So if something is being done, especially if your life is in danger, let's be clear. If your husband has had an affair or is having an affair, that is putting your life in danger, because unprotected sex leads to diseases that can kill you. So I'm just saying, okay? I'm not saying that if he had an affair that y'all can't reconcile, because I know too many, I've helped too many women whose husbands have had an affair, and they work it out, and God can heal any marriage. He can heal any person. Anyone who's willing to put in the work and surrender to God and his calling and his purpose, yes, it can be done. But you got to follow some steps, okay? There's a system to all of this. So let me review one last time. So I went over the 3-step framework to help you heal from heartache, experience constant peace, and skyrocket your confidence, okay? So the first thing was changing your focus. Stop paying attention to that man until you can get yourself healed, okay? You need to focus on God. You need to focus on his truth. You need to focus on his word. 2, stop living like a victim. Baby, stand up. Don't just stand there talking about it's gonna happen. Just fix it, please. No, you stand up, and you are not a victim. You are victorious. So you walk in the power that God has given you. And next, create safe boundaries. Speak and declare. Speak your truth. What's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And actually, in my program, Heal to Love, my mentorship, which I adore, because my passion is to help women walk in the fullness. And be empowered, walk in the fullness of who they are in Christ. No more living just waiting for life to happen. No more accepting treatment that is beneath you. No more all the constant crying and hoping and praying that all of a sudden the lights will turn on for him. You walk and you declare and you decree who you are and what you will accept. So in my mentorship, I dive deep into this. I hold your hand. We meet weekly. We deal with your specific problems, your specific concerns. It's very intimate. It's very, I give you clear strategies for your specific situation, because your husband might not have cheated on you, but he might be a gambler, or he might, I've dealt with women whose husbands, were gambling and wasting money. I've dealt with women whose husbands have had a drug addiction, mental disorders, affairs, baby mama drama. I've even helped a couple pastor wives and first ladies. I've mentored or coached them through the process of their husbands not, we'll leave that alone. But men are men, okay? But the point in Heal to Love is to heal your broken areas so that you can feel, embrace, and give love. So you can get the clarity that you need to love yourself, and so that you can now make wise decisions.